Welcome to your chair yoga class today. We're going to be doing a very entry-level chair yoga class just to cover some basics, and then in the next couple of weeks we'll just be building on those and deepening different stretches and working a little bit further into it. Chair yoga is a really awesome thing to start with if you've never done yoga before. If you have done yoga before and want more restorative practice, or if you're working from home right now, this is going to be a really great one. Some of these stretches are ones you can do even while you're working or if you're on a phone call, and just kind of add a little bit of movement and goodness to your day. And so all we're going to need is a chair. I have a blanket on my chair tonight just to make it a little bit more comfortable. I have 2 blocks. If you want to use books instead, you could use some big books. These are going to be really helpful to have for a handful of different postures tonight. And then also I have a strap, but if you want to use a long sleeve shirt or a sweatshirt, one that you don't mind if it gets a little bit stretched out, you can always do that as well. And so first we want to start in a comfortable seated position. So everyone's bodies are different, everyone's chairs that they are going to be sitting on are going to be very different. So maybe you're comfortable and your feet can rest comfortably on the ground. That's a good angle for your knees that you feel like you can relax. Your back comfortably meets the lower part of the chair back. But if you would like to, these blocks or books, whatever you have, are going to be an awesome helper to put underneath your feet. To me, that helps just sit my hips a little bit further into my chair, feeling a little bit more grounded. So taking a moment and figuring out where you are the most comfortable. And when you are ready, taking any wiggles you need, settling in, and just finding a moment of stillness. Settling in to our chairs, wiggling out the fingers and toes if you need to take some movement through the shoulders. No need to find an excessively tall spine right now, just somewhere where you can relax. Letting the eyes close down, the gaze can soften if closing the eyes isn't comfortable. And just starting to notice the sounds around us, whatever they might be. Maybe there's family in the house, maybe TV, maybe you're outside. And as we come into our space, just starting to notice how our own bodies are feeling right now, without any judgment, just the practice of notice from head to toe, scanning the body, starting at the crown of the head, taking that scan all the way down through the face muscles, through the neck and jaw, through the shoulders, down the torso, into the low back, into the hips, through the thighs, down the knees, through the calves and out the feet, without any judgment, just observing how we're feeling. Because you're doing this practice on your own, it's just important to check in each step of the way, noticing how we're different, noticing it can change so much day to day, moment by moment. And if there's anything that's uncomfortable tonight, not to press yourself further than is comfortable, but just taking things to a comfortable challenge. And then slowly we'll bring our awareness to our breath, starting to inhale through the nose, filling up our belly. Slowly drawing out our exhale, out the nose or mouth, whatever's comfortable. Filling up the belly on our inhale as low as we can get our breath to expand. Drawn out exhales, every drop of air out. 3 more here, really cleansing breaths in through the nose. Maybe out through the mouth this time. 2 more, your own tempo. Coming back to a natural breath that you feel like you can maintain, whatever that breath is, no right or wrong. Just trying to keep it intentional. And then as we rest here for a moment longer, taking time So just set an intention for your practice, something beyond the physical body that you want to focus on. Maybe a mantra, maybe it's peace, maybe it's hope, maybe it's strength. Maybe it's flexibility in life and not just flexibility in the body. We'll take one last full breath here. You may stay here longer if you'd like. If you're ready to join me, we'll slowly blink the eyes open. We're going to add a little bit more movement to our breath. So slowly we're going to inhale, our arms sweep up high overhead. Maybe the gaze follows up. Exhale, hands all the way to heart center. We'll do 2 more breaths like that. Big inhale, reach high, stretch out the sides of the body. Exhale, hands to heart. One more, your pace. Big inhale. Side out. Resting the hands down on the legs, wherever's comfortable, no right or wrong. We'll just take some big shoulder rolls forward. Again, there's going to be plenty of postures to sit up really nice and tall and have a really active spine. Right now, if you want to sit a little bit further back in your chair and just let the low back relax, this is a great time to just have a restful posture easing in as we warm up. When you're ready, shoulder rolls go back. Still keeping the breath moving. And then if you'd like to add a little bit bigger circles as you get warm, you can add the elbows too. Maybe the elbows go all the way around, adding a little bit further of a rotation. And then we'll relax the arms down here. We're going to come into some neck stretches, letting our left ear fall towards our left shoulder. We want to first make sure that the shoulders are really relaxed down the back as much as they can be. And then just let gravity draw that left ear over. So maybe this is enough of a stretch here. We really want to be gentle with our necks. If you'd like to add a little bit additional stretch here, you can take the left hand to the crown of the head and just gently draw it over further. If you'd like to go even further here, listening to our bodies, you can add a stretch, flexing the right palm away from the body, playing with the height of that arm. That's going to add a little bit further stretch through the top of the arm, into the shoulder, and into the neck. Or wherever we are, we'll take 2 more breaths here. Your inhale brings everything slowly back to center. And then we're just going to go on to the other side. So checking in with the body first, side to side can be very different. We'll let the right ear fall towards the right shoulder, lengthening the left side of the neck. Drawing the shoulders down the back. Maybe we stay right here. Just let gravity do the work, or maybe you want to add the right hand. Not pulling, just gentle pressure. Maybe left hand flexes away from the body, adding that stretch. You can play with the height of the arm. It's going to be different for everybody. But the more you flex the hand, the deeper that stretch is going to be. Last 2 breaths here. Inhale, we all return back to center. Now we're going to take a few shoulder rolls and then add a full neck rotation. So as we go around, it can be a big circle or a little circle. Whatever feels good to us today. We really want to take our time, go slow, never in a hurry. And just taking the time to get a full range of motion, really lifting the chin towards the sky and then chucking the chin towards the chest. It might feel like you're drawing a figure 8 shape with your nose, if that helps guide your motion. Next breath, we'll switch directions. Full circle goes the other way. Again, nice and slow. Last full breath here. Slowly coming back to neutral. Taking any movements you need in the shoulders, forward or back, side to side. Just wiggling it out. we're going to come into some wrist stretches. So starting with interlacing the fingers and then just drawing some big circles around with the wrist. Might feel different if you bring the elbows and forearms closer together or further apart. You can find what's comfortable for you. And then we'll switch directions. Big full circles go the other way. Again, maybe forearms stay close. Maybe forearms come apart. And then slowly we're going to move with our breath. So we're going to clench our palms really tight, actively squeezing the whole time on our inhale. And then on our exhale, really actively spread the fingers, reach through the fingertips, full exhale. Inhale, we clench tight. Exhale, we stretch long. 2 more here. Exhale long. We'll rest the hands back down. Coming back to a little bit more wrist stretches and shoulder stretches in a minute. We're going to move on to our hips here. So we want to first make sure our feet are grounded. So if you feel like you want to move the blocks or find any adjustments, we can do that now. We're going to start with lifting up the right knee up towards our chest. So if the knee is out here, or if you want to use your strap here, whether it's a sweatshirt, strap, long sleeve shirt, to hold onto your knee, you don't need to be able to reach your knee in order to do this. We're just hugging the knee up towards the chest as much as we can, getting a little bit of a hip flex or hip stretch here. So once we find where we can hang out, I'm going to really make sure the shoulders are relaxed down, the arms aren't working too hard, that they can relax by our sides. And then find some ankle movement here. So pointing and flexing the foot. Maybe taking some big circles around one direction and then the other. Maybe we can spread our toes really wide and wiggle our toes around. And then taking this knee, we're going to take it to the right side, opening up the hip. The left hand can hold onto your chair if you want a little bit more support here. Maybe flexing the foot here or pointing the toes to notice the difference of the stretch. We're just focusing on this right hip right now. So breath still in the belly. One more big inhale. Draw out your exhale. And slowly bring that right knee back to center. Rest that leg down. If you want to find some movement in between stretches, you can windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Both knees go left, both knees go right. Just finding some movement to wiggle it out, maybe noticing the difference from side to side right now before we switch. We'll come back to center. Right foot is our base planted down. We're going to hug our left knee into our chest. Again, you can feel free to use your strap here if that helps you feel more stable. Once we're hugging that knee up towards our chest, towards our armpit, we can add the movement through the ankle, pointing and flexing the foot. Finding some ankle rolls around. And spreading the toes wide, wiggling the toes. And we'll open up that left hip to the side. Right hand can plant down for support, holding on wherever's comfortable. And this knee doesn't need to go far. Maybe it just goes a few inches out to the side, or maybe it goes a lot further. Totally up to you and your body today, wherever you are at. Take 2 more breaths here. Inhale brings everything back to center. Resting down, we can windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Keeping our feet rooted down. Coming into our twists. So first for our twists, we want to make sure that we can find a really tall spine. So for me, that means moving my hips up a few inches closer towards the front of my seat. So finding wherever you can find a really tall spine. Our plan here is just to have the shoulders relaxed down the back and the crown of the head right over the tailbone so we can rotate on that point. So from here, we're going to take our right hand to the outside of our left knee. We're going to do both sides, so if you're not mirroring me, that's fine. And we're going to take our left hand to our seat to hold on to. We want to first draw our belly button in towards our spine, so you're really using your core, and this is where your twist is coming from. It's not coming from this right arm. So we engage our core, and then we're going to draw our belly in as we twist around, going towards the left side. So still relaxing the shoulders down. We should be able to lift that right hand up and not uncoil our twist. So our twist should be coming from our belly, where it doesn't matter what this right hand's doing because we're twisting from our core and not that arm. The arm isn't cranking the spine around. So we're going to take a few more breaths here. Maybe the gaze follows over the back shoulder. Maybe it just looks to the side, wherever's comfortable. On your next inhale, slowly making your way back to center. If you need to do any movements in the middle to feel evened out, then we'll switch sides. So the left hand's going to come to the outside of the right knee. Right hand comes to our chair. Find our tall spine, drawing the belly button in, twist from the core, gaze over the right shoulder. So it doesn't matter where that right hand is, it's only there for support. Same thing with the left hand, it's not doing the twist, it's just supporting your spine. Still slowing down our breath. Breath is still deep in the belly. Last 2 full breaths here. Inhale brings us back to center. From here, we're going to come into a forward fold. So with our spine, we want to strengthen it long and lengthen it long, even after we do our twists to make sure we're counteracting. So from here, we want to take our feet a little bit wider apart. Again, you can have them on blocks or on the chair. We want to send our tailbone back to hinge at the hips, leading with our heart forward to keep a long flat back for as long as we can. And then let the crown of the head hang heavy down towards the earth. So maybe the belly can rest between the thighs, maybe shoulders can hang down. If you want to use your blocks and hold on to them here, or hold on to them up a little bit higher, you can. Our goal here is just to lengthen all the way from the tailbone to the crown of the head, letting the crown of the head be heavy towards the mat. It doesn't matter what your forward fold looks like. If that's too much of a stretch, you can also just keep your elbows up on your shins here, relaxing the neck, tucking the chin towards the chest. Belly hangs loose, expanding with every inhale. Last 2 full breaths here. Can we tuck our chin a little further? Can we let our shoulders hang a little heavier? On our inhale, we're going to rise up 1 vertebrae at a time till we find our tall seat. Take your time to roll the shoulders down the back, finding your tall spine. And then we're going to come into another shoulder opener. So this time we're going to want our strap to hold on to. So again, that can be a sweatshirt. We're going to just come into a shoulder opener here. The further apart your hands are on your strap, the easier it's going to be. It's not going to be easier, but a little bit easier. If your hands are a lot closer together on the strap, it's going to be a lot more of a shoulder opener, a lot more intense. So finding a place, we might have to play around for a minute. We're just going to bring the strap up overhead. And maybe we just go this far. Maybe it just goes up overhead today. You're going to want to sit back in your chair so you can find this rotation. And then maybe it goes all the way around the low back to the low back. But that can be a really big stretch, so maybe you just stay up tall today, opening up the chest, opening up the collarbone. A lot of times when we think about posture too, we only think about the spine being really tall. We don't think about the muscles associated with it. And you're going to need an open chest if you want to roll your shoulders back. So all this goes into posture. So if there's a sticky spot that you want to hang out at, feel free to find it, breathe into it. If you want to stay in more of a steady motion, you can just bring the hands around front of the body and then bring the strap back up overhead, maybe to the low back. And then if you ever need to take a break, find a moment you can just rest your strap down and come back into it. We'll just take 4 more rounds of breath to play around here. Everyone's going to be so different with where they're at. So just finding your breath and finding the place or the movement that you'd like to go here. Let's It's really easy to want to hunch our shoulders up to our ears. That's something we want to avoid. It's easy to clench the jaw here. All these big stretches, you want to hold your breath and clench your jaw. That makes it really hard on your body to relax and really give into the full benefits of the stretch. So even though we're opening up the shoulders, we don't have our shoulders up by our ears. We have the shoulders down the back, jaws unclenched. Finishing up the round that we are on. Slowly we'll come all the way back to center, releasing our strap off to the side. Let's take a few breaths to find some movement. Inhaling, arms sweep high. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more just like that. Big inhale. Side out. Coming back to our wrist stretches, we're just going to keep rotating through the body. So with our wrist stretch, we're going to add our breath to our movement again with our wrist stretch. We're going to first interlace our fingers, but this time we're going to do the awkward finger in front. So we tend to have a normal side. We want to do the awkward side this time. And then we're going to take these hands to the low belly that they're still interlaced. So your thumbs are pointing towards me, the pinkies are pointing towards your belly, and palms are facing up towards the sky. On your inhale, we're going to lift the palms up towards the chest or maybe all the way up towards the chin. Then we're going to flip the palms so the thumbs face down towards the earth and press that energy away from your chin. Exhale till the arms reach long. Inhale, we reach our arms up high overhead. Maybe the gaze follows up. Fingers are still interlaced. Exhale, we'll release really active cactus arms all the way down the body, pulling the heart through. So just in that shoulder opener till the elbows get all the way down to the rib cage. We'll do that 3 more times. So interlacing the fingers at the low belly. Inhale, we come up to chest or chin. Exhale, push it away. Always moving at your own pace. My words are just here to guide you. Inhale, tall. Exhale, cactus. Active, opening up that chin. Opening up your chin, opening up your chest. We'll do 2 more. Inhale up to your chin. Exhale, push it away. Inhale, lengthen everything. Exhale, peel the heart open. Last one. Coming back to resting. Take any shoulder rolls you need, any wrist rolls you need. If you do one direction, do the other direction. Always want to even out all that movement. We're going to come into one last hip opener. We're going to come into our pigeon modification. This one's my favorite. We really want to be grounded. I recommend starting with your feet on the earth, but having your blocks or a prop there to support you. So with this pose, we're going to keep our left foot grounded. Right ankle is going to cross over the left knee. So this can be a really big stretch, a really big hip opener. So maybe this is enough of a stretch right here with that left foot on the mat. We want to focus on drawing the right knee towards the earth. So that's what's opening up this hip as much as we can. If your knee's up here, that's great. Our goal is just to open up that hip as much as we can. And then if you have any knee discomfort in the right knee, flexing this right foot is just going to help activate all those muscles around your kneecap and keeping you safe. So finding a tall seat, and maybe you hang out right here. If this is too much of a stretch, use your blocks here or your books, and you can set them at a lot of different heights in front of your mat, in front of your seat, and then rest your ankle right on the blocks, and that can be your hip opener. It doesn't need to come all the way up here. This is a really big stretch. So maybe you hang out right here and just slowly start to open up that hip. If this is comfortable and you want to go deeper, lots of options here. So I'm going to break them down and then you can find what works for you. Maybe a block goes underneath this left foot. That's going to raise the knee a little bit higher, giving this hip a little bit further of an opening. So play around. If you want to try any modification at any point and then come back into one that's comfortable, that's awesome. You don't have to try one out and stick with it the whole time. Listen to your body. Find where it's fun. Find what's comfortable. You find a tall spine. Maybe the eyes close down. We don't need to work here. The low back can relax into the chair. This is a really awesome time to come back to your breath and come back to that intention that you set for yourself at the beginning of your practice. Whatever was on your mind, whatever was on your heart that you wanted to be your guide, just bringing that to the forefront of your thoughts. Knowing you can find adjustments in your body and your breath at any time you need. And as we settle in here, options to go a little bit deeper. If you'd like to, placing this right hand on the right knee, maybe adding a little gentle pressure to draw the knee closer towards the earth and open up the hip a little bit further. So please don't cram on your knee. We want to be very gentle, and all of our twists with our back, with our hips, with our neck, everything is really restorative. This is meant to just be really healing, kind of giving you a reset button to your day. Last 2 full breaths here. When you're ready, slowly coming back to center, we're going to lower the right ankle back down. If you'd like to, windshield wiper the knees again from side to side, find some movement. Noticing the difference from side to side can be really interesting. It's really normal to have one side be a lot tighter than the other. So figuring out where your body's at and knowing that it's not wrong. Just give yourself grace because that's exactly how it's supposed to be. We'll move on to the other side. So this side might be different. You can find what props work for you on this side. Maybe you want the foot on the earth. Maybe you want to just come up on a tippy toe and you don't want to use the whole block. Or maybe you want to use those blocks in front of you to rest the ankle on right here and not come up all the way. So play around, find where you're at. Again, if this knee is at all sensitive, flexing the left foot, help protect that knee joint. And then maybe adding a little pressure through this left hand to help open up the hip. Back can rest into the chair, breath relaxes down into the belly. Filling up on our inhales and trying to make our exhales longer than our inhales. You can breathe out the nose or the mouth, whatever's comfortable. When we can, slow down our exhales and lengthen them longer than our inhales. That's what helps slow down our nervous system, and that's going to be the biggest reset of anything that we're doing today. So even if you just sit in your chair and just focus on your breathing and your intention, that is just as much yoga as anything else we are doing. So always know that that is available to you. Last 2 full breaths here. Your next breath will bring everything back to center, releasing the left ankle back down. We're going to come into one last forward fold to end our time. So maybe the legs come a little bit wider. Again, if you want to keep the blocks underneath, that can be a good support. So the further the legs are, the knees are further apart from one another, the more of a hip opener you're going to get, and the more you're going to be able to rest the belly between the thighs. So it's up to you where you're comfortable. If you want to keep the knees closer together like we did the first forward fold, that's awesome. If your hips are feeling more open and you want to expand them further, still send the tailbone back. Belly gets to hang loose between the thighs as we fold our hearts forward. Head is still going to rest down. So we want to tuck our chin towards our chest. Let the crown of the head be heavy towards the earth. You can do that from right up here with the elbows propped up on the knees, or you can fully surrender the heart forward if you have the space in the hips. So wherever we are, finding our breath, finding that same little body scan that we did to see where we're holding on to tensions that we can release. So maybe we're holding tension in the jaw. Maybe the tongue was crammed up against the roof of our mouth. Maybe our shoulders are tense. Maybe the hips are tight. Just breaking every little bit down, every exhale, sinking in a little bit further. We'll be here for 4 more breaths. when you are ready, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Take your time. You can use the chair to assist you. Sitting up nice and tall, relaxing the shoulders down the back, and then bringing the knees back to center to a comfortable seat. When you're ready, we'll bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, letting the back rest into the chair, letting go of any harsh postures and just settling in. Noticing where the breath naturally falls and just checking in with how we might feel different than when we started our practice. Maybe we just feel different in our mindset and our emotions. Maybe we feel different throughout the body. Just take a few slow, intentional rounds of breath here. And just moments of stillness. So if the breath isn't what you want to focus on and you just want a quiet mind, maybe the palms rest on the thighs. If you're in the mood for more of a receiving posture, palms can be up towards the sky. If you want to just focus on feeling grounded and settled into your body, your seat, your space, palms can be down. Letting the mind just have a moment of stillness. Please feel free to stay here as long as you would like in this stillness for yourself. If you're ready, blinking the eyes open. We'll take one last big breath together if you're with me. We'll inhale our arms sweep high up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. The light and the love in me sees and honors the light and love in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have a beautiful day. And let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to answer them even though I'm not with you. All right, thanks.